remind me not to do that again. Over the past few months, my TBR has been piling and piling up because I got into a massive reading slump, and I told myself that if I kept buying books, then eventually I would have to read them because I'd be like motivated to read them because I was buying more and more and more. And then it didn't happen. So I just bought a big stack of books and I just hadn't read them. That sounded like a better excuse in my head. Today, our job is to read as many books as possible and get them off of my TBR because I am finally out of that reading slump. I am in a better place emotionally, heartfully, mechanically. We're gonna read, we're gonna read, we're gonna read, and we're gonna see how many books we can get on my TBR, and it's gonna be a great fucking time. Hop along and let's dish about books, except I clearly have a spending problem. For the first book, I'm going to take you back in time because I've kind of already started. Splosh into the past. Splosh. We started Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber on the Kindle. I'm loving reading books on my Kindle at the moment. That is such a lie. Sorry, I've just told a fib there. I have not read a book on my Kindle in months. I bought a bunch of books on my Kindle as well as physical books, so, you know, there's that. I was intending to read a lot more today. I've literally read like 2 chapters. I was intending to read more today, but then I got distracted by writing, so that's cool. I've already discovered many things. I like Stephanie Garber's writing a lot. I like her writing a lot because it kind of switches up past and present. It goes like a lot in between without actually, like, you know, in like romance books where it's like 6 years prior. I don't like that. I like when it just kind of happens and you have to kind of like work out the chronology a little bit, but it's not actually like properly difficult. Her books are kind of romance books without actually being romance books. Like they're tropey, but they're not shoved in your face tropey. She messes with like mythology and storytelling. This one, a watchman who can tell you when you're gonna die. I feel like it's just cool because it's like not many things do that, you know. Well, maybe they do. Maybe I just haven't logged on to that side of the internet. I'm gonna carry on reading. Goal for today is I'm currently 7% through to get a quarter through. 25%. I got to 7% in like 20 minutes, so surely we can get to 25% quite easily. I don't know. I will probably be back wearing pyjamas with glasses on, and we're just gonna get into the cozy vibes. I'm gonna put a fireplace sound in the background. We're gonna bring some warm lighting in here. Let's just carry on reading because I'm already dilly-dallying and procrastinating, and this is exactly what kept me and made my TBR even longer. I don't even want to look at it. There's too many books on it. I have 46 pages left, I think. And I'm gonna pick a new book, and then we're gonna move on to book 2. My favourite part of it, the relationships, because there's been a lot of like traitors and who to trust, and I really enjoyed that aspect. Probably a lot more than the magic. Sometimes the magic is like going past my head because I'm like trying to work out what's happening with the relationships. I'm sitting in the sun, and because he's overheating, doggy in the shade. Alchemy of Secret. It was so much fun. It was so different to her other books. I didn't write a review, but I've forgotten how many stars I gave the books. You are going to notice something whilst you see the clips of me giving reviews. I'm wearing the same clothes. That's because I've read the books and I finished them over a week ago. I just forgot to do the final clip. Is that mine? Did I give it that much? I actually gave it 3.5. It was very similar but also different to all of the books that I read before. It felt more grown up. There was a lot more blood. It felt like there was a lot more very high stakes in her other books. She wrote Caraval, the Caraval series, and Once Upon a Broken Heart series. There's an actual proper threat on the main character's life from the beginning, and I felt like that kind of just moved the story along and it worked. extremely well. She writes very magical settings. The foundation had been built on our world. I have so many questions, which is why I think I didn't rate it as highly as I could have. I have so many questions, but I feel like those are going to be answered in the sequel, which is coming. I feel like I probably should move it up to a 4 because immediately after I finished I was like, please tell me there's more. I loved the way the magic system worked. I wrote my review down and I can't look at it because it's on my phone and I'm filming on my phone. I enjoyed it. I don't know what else I can say. If you want to read like is it magical realism or is it fantasy? But if you want to read like that sort of book, a book where it's like adventurous and fun and there's high stakes and there's romance, this is the book for you. The romance is probably the reason that I downvoted it a little bit. The romance it was supposedly a love triangle. All of the relationships kind of just shifted and kept shifting with no real, like, there was no real build up to it. It felt like a lot of the characters were traitors. There'd been no clear foundation of them becoming traitors. The main character kind of switched her allegiances very, very quickly, and to the point where I was like, whoa, stop, let's think about this. But I did finish this in 3 days, I think, after being in probably one of the biggest reading slumps I've ever been in. She is such a talented and amazing writer, and I'm so excited for, I think it's a novella that's coming out, which is the next book in Once Upon a Broken Heart. Once Upon a Broken Heart is one of my favourite series. I felt like it was commentary on like slightly like the corruption in Hollywood. The main character who has like a really big secret and you can kind of guess it. So interesting how the character's secret like plays into the rest of the story and how it's being told and how she's figuring out the mystery of magic. I just really enjoyed it, and this is a book that I would definitely recommend. I can't remember the point of this video, if I was just reading books on my TBR. I think I was, but this book has a big old tick next to it. Read it or weep book number 2. As you saw, our second book is also on Kindle, The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. 100 pages through now, I think. I'm not really 100% sure of it. My thing with romance books is my taste is very like cutesy. It's more about like how, I guess, love is used as a lesson. I kind of prefer literary fiction. I feel like sometimes romance books, for me, like I don't look for the ones where it's more like the physical aspects of romance, and this feels like it's very that. Like it feels like they're really attracted to each other like physically, but it doesn't feel particularly like emotional. We're gonna carry on though because I've been wanting to read an Abby Jimenez book for ages. I read Just for the Summer last summer. It's just not really giving what I wanted it to give, but like I said, I'm 100 pages through. Might as well keep going because you never know. It might be one of those cases where it's like physical at the beginning and then it turns emotional, but I really thought they were getting there and they're just not. Interesting side plot. The reason that the relationship isn't going to work is because she can't have kids and he really wants kids. Like her biologically she can't have kids. I explain this particularly well. She can't have kids, he wants kids, he doesn't know that she can't have kids, but it's not like a, I don't really know how to describe it. Unsafe for her to have children. So she's getting her ovaries removed, I think? I can't remember. I thought that was a really interesting part of the plot. You'll see, that didn't really overshadow the plot itself. So if you look in the background, you can see my actual like physical TBR. If this book doesn't send me into like a spiral of just not reading for days, we'll get over there. It's this shelf and this shelf. It started with like 26 books. I think there's probably like 40 now. We're gonna carry on. The Friend Zone. Ow. And hopefully I'm gonna get out. They also were never really friends. When someone says the friend zone, it makes me think of like, oh, friends to lovers. These guys were never really friends. They were friends for like 4 pages and then they were like, oh my god, I'm in love with you. Lie to me about friends to lovers, okay? Don't you do that to me. I've read a little bit more, I'm not gonna look. I don't know how I'm feeling about the book. I was about to say I don't like it, but the thing is I like parts of it. The more emotional side where it's about the reasons why they can't be together. I just don't like the actual relationship, which is kind of bad. There was such a good foundation for them to have like a good like friendship aspect of the relationship, because yes, the person you're in a relationship should reasonably be like, they should be your best friend, and there was such a good foundation for that. And then the second they started getting physical, it just all went away. And maybe I'm just not seeing it because I don't want there to be like the physical. I just really don't like reading spice. There's a time and a place for it, and this is not what I wanted. Because I picked this up. This Alchemy of Secrets has made me want to read a cutesy romance book because there was so much murder and death. Just not enjoying it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see how far I get tonight. It's like 11 now. I don't want to stay up too late, so I'll probably stay up until maybe like, I was gonna say 12:30, but if I stay up until 12:30, I'm staying up until 1. So let's just say I'm gonna stay up until 1. Let's hope I can get a little bit done. Not too much. Maybe we aim for, I think I'm on like 45%. Maybe we aim for 50. And if I don't then get to 75 tomorrow, I DNF it. If I'm not motivated after like 75% to finish it, I feel like I'm just not enjoying the book and I shouldn't carry on with it. I'm not gonna lie, this book was not on my TBR. It was just on my Kindle and I was like, you know what? You're what I want. When it was cutesy, it was cute and I was loving it. But like I was reading it on the train home from work earlier and I was like, I can't read this in public. Some man like walked behind me and I was like, please don't look down. Please don't look down. Please don't look down. Because on every single page, they're talking about like balonkalonk. And I'm just like, I'm not into that. Fair play to anyone who is. When I say this is no hate nor shade to anyone that does enjoy reading that. I just don't. It actually said on Fable, closed door romance, no explicit scenes. So why are we lying? Why are you trying to trick me? Oh, I'm on 47%. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna do other stuff first, but eventually we're gonna potentially get to reading. It's a big maybe. I'm not gonna, it's a maybe, mostly because I don't want to. Yay! I love reading. I'm kind of hoping to read 4 books and this one's kind of throwing it off, which is why I'm contemplating just abandoning it, but I won't. I shan't. Can't. The city needs me. Away! What was the second book that we read? The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I have bad news on this one. I DNF'd it at 80%. I felt like a slog to get through. I literally read the entirety of our 3rd book in between reading it. I was not having fun. The characters felt superficial. The relationship felt like it was grounded in sexual aspects of the relationship and they weren't actually building the emotional. And when they were building the emotional, it would immediately switch back to being sexual and physical. And I just really wasn't enjoying it. I will be giving Abby Jimenez another chance and I will be reading more of her books, but this one just wasn't for me and that's okay. Big old DNF. Ow! My fault I didn't finish it. And our final book. But I have not finished the second book. My Kindle's about to run out of charge and I want to read something else. So let's pick something else. What do we want? Do you remember how I said before I want a cutesy romance book? Taylor Jenkins Reid book. Atmosphere is a soaring story about the transformative power of love, this time among the stars. Her books are all just so different. You have like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Malibu Rising, Daisy Jones and the Six, I guess, Hollywood, like commenting on the corrupt nature of Hollywood. And then you have the other side where it's like such, like there's devastation there, but like devastating love stories. Rip your heart out. And I'm sure that this is going to be one of them. This book is actually reminding me why I love romance books after the last one. Romance books are perfect when the build-up happens so slowly. Characters don't realise that they're falling in love, but you as the reader, like an onlooker, kind of do. Like a collection of moments where you don't realise what's happening. The people around you and the people that know you, they can tell. It's a lot better than just the sudden switch of like, oh my god, I see you, love you. Done a really good job of portraying the idea of like, the main character, she wants to be an astronaut. In the beginning, I'm assuming this is going to partially change because I feel like there are signs of it already. In the beginning, she's like, if something were to happen to me in space, my body is going to return to the Earth. So she's kind of on that wavelength of like looking at death. She has a niece that she has had like a very, very big part of like raising her niece, but I couldn't leave Frances. That's what would destroy me, if you know what I mean. And also so far it's done a really good job of like portraying women in STEM, the female apprentices in STEM, because they can be based on competition. We're just gonna read and we're gonna have a cute day. You're paying, right? After the kind of failure that we had. I wasn't expecting to feel how I did about the final book, but I feel like at the same time I should have expected it. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. 4 stars, probably 4.5, maybe even 5. Loved this book. It was so sweet. You're gonna read any of the books in this video, let it be this one. The main character is an astronaut. She is basically learning how to traverse through a world where she's dealing with relationships and learning more about herself and how she loves and who she loves. So much passion that has gone into this book, and you can like feel it just coming out of the page. There's really high stakes. It goes between the past and the present. In the beginning, it's revealed that there's an astronaut on a ship, there's a disaster. And you don't really know who that character is because they're not the main character. And then you go into the past and you learn more about them and you learn more about their relationship with the main character. By the end, you're like, oh my god. And I did shed a tear. I've got some quotes for you because I don't even think I can put into words how much I love this book. The only way I can explain to you why you should read it is by reading some of it to you. We're just gonna go from the beginning and I'm gonna read every single quote. Didn't take too long, right? There was also such an important message about women in this book. 2 main characters, basically it's Joan and Veronica. Joan is the main like character, and then Veronica is the that you meet in the present who's going through the disaster. Joan is the main character in the flashbacks, the one dealing with the disaster, and this is set in 1980, 1985. I think the present is 1985 and then in the past it's 1980. They're women in a very male dominated space. It just felt really empowering. I'll read you this quote and then I'll explain what I mean. So it came as a huge shock to the men in the department, many of whom fancied themselves secretly destined for victory, to see that the woman they'd overlooked was lapping them in a race they did not know had started. I obviously wasn't alive in this time. I was born in 2007. We would not be where we are today if we hadn't had those women in the period before who essentially gave time and energy and essentially their lives to make it easier for women in my generation, future generations, to make it easier for them to get into those fields. When Joan is given her own mission, which you know from the start that she has, but you kind of don't really know the situation surrounding it. Whoa, this is amazing. She's just accomplished something so incredible. And you see how she realizes her actions kind of affect the people that come after her. The characters, they just felt so real and so important, and I don't know. Let me read you more because I don't think I've read you enough. Went into a lot into relationships and how they kind of really are the foundation of the human experience. The main character doesn't really care about life when it's just herself. When she realizes that there are other people surrounding her, that's when she's like, this is what life is for. NASA is run primarily by men. If we want to go up there, we have to convince a man to choose us. We have to be somebody the men here want to work with. We have to be smart. You see how the different women, the different female characters kind of deal with the expectations that are being placed on them. Even the characters that you don't want to like, you end up liking. Okay, and then there's also the romance that's happening in the background. I think this is the last quote I'll read just because I don't want to spend your entire day reading you quotes. I'm scared I will wait forever, Vanessa said, her voice a whisper, and it will kill me. Joan's heart began to pound. I'm begging you not to, Vanessa said. Please, tell me I'm wasting my time. Tell me I'm crazy. Put me out of my misery, Joan. Can you do that? Joan looked at her. I can't tell you that. Vanessa stared at her. And I don't want to tell you that. That's it from me. I hope that you have found your new favourite book. We're going to end this video with a little intellectual claim. Please have fun reading. Try and get books off your TBR before you buy more. You might end up finding your next favourite book. I'm not quite sure what intellectual claim that was, but it was certainly one. I will see you very soon. Hope you've had an amazing time, an amazing day, or an amazing rest of your day. I don't know what time it is for you. I'm not a stalker. Like 11:30 for me. So I should probably go to sleep and oh my god. And at last. I should probably end it here, shouldn't I? It's really fucking bright though. We're done here. She doesn't even go here. Bye, Queen. Bye bye.